Good afternoon, everybody. I will be reviewing Axis Football 2020, giving you my interpretation of the game, how I feel about it, and just breaking it down, just giving you a review so you know whether or not you should spend $30 on this game. So, starting off, I want to give a quick overview, and that overview being I think that Axis Football is a great game to buy if you are just looking for an alternative to other football games and you want a franchise experience. It is an indie game, so it's built by a small team of developers. It's built by people who have regular 9 to 5 jobs, but spend their free time working on this game. So these people are very dedicated. These people are very passionate, but I want everyone to realize that there will be faults that they run into, and there are definitely faults that I've run into. So, with all that being said, let's get right into this review. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys like it, and that's it. So, first, we're gonna kick off with player versus AI gameplay. So I broke this review up into 3 different sections: player versus AI, coach mode, and spectate. In player versus AI, there are a lot of things that are noticeable that are issues, and they could be in some other modes. One thing that I noticed is that when you kick the ball off in the first half, or it doesn't matter, whoever kicked the ball off in the first half, you, the player, will not most likely get the ball back in the second half. The opposing team will, for whatever reason, always get the ball. I'm not entirely sure why. That's pretty weird to me. But moving forward, other than that, the gameplay is pretty nice if you play on the correct settings. And what I mean by that is the most challenging gameplay that you'll probably get is playing on 5-minute quarters, Hall of Fame difficulty, and then tweaking the Excel clock and the game speed and all of that. For whatever reason, the game doesn't compensate for higher gameplay mode. So if you try and play Hall of Fame difficulty on 15-minute quarters and you're playing player versus AI, you'll probably win your game like 200 to 10. And for whatever reason, the AI, they play the game as if it's a 15-minute quarter all the time. So playing on 20-minute quarters, they might score, not 20-minute quarters, I'm sorry. Playing a game that's 20 minutes long, 5-minute quarters, the AI might score 20 points. And then if you put it on 10-minute quarters, within the first 15 minutes, they've probably scored 20 points unless you have the gameplay speed and settings set up properly. So what I also noticed is that there is somewhat of a difference in player ratings. So what I decided to do on my own is put in the Ravens roster, and this is directly from the Ravens website. I put in the Ravens roster, and the Ravens roster, based off of that and other stats that I've seen from other games, they're the best team in the league basically, and they can go in and steamroll teams 50 to whatever, no matter what is going on. So that's all I really have to say about the player versus the AI. You just have to notice how much time is on the board and the different clock difficulties and such. So next, moving on to the coach mode. So in coach mode, I realized that the players don't make the best decisions. When I'm playing player versus AI, I can go out and on 10 carries, rush for 200 yards. Same thing with passing. I can pass, I could throw 10 passes and 5 of those passes will be touchdown passes. And that's another thing that I've noticed. It's very disproportionate when you are playing player versus AI in any mode, whether it's player versus AI playing the game or player versus AI coaching the game. So with coaching, I ran into an issue where my running back, who the game before had, I think, 20 some carries and, a couple hundred yards, going into coach mode on 50 carries, he had, I think, less than 50 yards. And I think that's an issue. I think that is an issue that needs to be addressed. I think that is an issue that needs to most definitely be fixed and edited, so that way, no matter what difficulty you're playing on, no matter the time on the clock, the AI, whether you're in coach, play now, or whatever, the AI will respond to that playing differently. Just noticing how much time is on the clock, noticing what all is going on, just all of those things, because it's really game breaking. It's not really immersive when you're playing the game and you really want the other team to score. And don't get me wrong, there have been games that I've played where it's close, but for the majority of it, I win just blowing the other teams out of the park, no matter what my player ratings are. And now moving on to spectating games. When you spectate games, it's actually pretty interesting spectating when you're playing this game, because you also have to account for not only the time but the cell clock, the game speed, and the clock speed. Because if you don't look at all of that stuff, the game is not going to play the way that you think it's going to play. So as you see right now, 15-minute quarters, 15 seconds in, Baltimore has already scored. And a huge issue that I see with that is that if you have one team that is just so far ahead of the other team, maybe you have one team that has an A in offense, a B on defense, and maybe an A on special teams, going up against a team that's B all across the board, that B team will just get blown out of proportion. And I think that is a major issue that needs to be fixed. Again, like I've been saying in this video, I think that's something that they need to fix, something that that just needs to be overall edited. But other than that, I think there is a real pure joy in just watching these games unfold, especially now with the esports league that Axis Football has. I think that it's awesome being able to just take your creation, take your creativity, and take your team and coach it up to what you need it and want it to be. And I think that you can get that through not only spectate but the coach mode. So that is really all I have to say about those three modes. So lastly, I would like to just get into my final verdict. So final verdict on this game, I think Axis Football 2020 is a great step in the right direction. I think that the game comes with some bugs and some glitches that definitely will need to be fixed. But other than that, Axis Football 2020 does a great job at delivering the offline franchise experience that people want. The gameplay, which is what I'm here to talk about, leaves much to be desired. And as you guys can see right now, if you're still watching, that was just a bug right there. And it's like, I don't know what that bug is. I've seen bugs where my O lineman has caught a pass and they didn't call a legal man downfield, or I've had a wide open receiver called for holding, but they didn't. No one interrupted their route, nothing like that. I don't know if you guys have seen it during this video, but other things where like DBs just stand still. Those are major issues in the game. But I think that supporting this game will help them get to a point where we won't see these issues anymore, where we'll start to see smoother gameplay. We'll start to see, better simulations, all of that stuff. So I would say that for people who want to support the little guy, for people who just don't want to buy EA, I think that this is a great game to play because they offer a lot of tools to make this game your own. Obviously you're not going to be able to change some of the other bugs and glitches or just bad gameplay that you see. But when the gameplay is good, it's good. It is possible to, play a game where there's no glitches, there's no bugs, and it's actually pretty challenging. Um, but it's all going to depend on how you feel, what you want to spend your money on, what you want to support. Um, so I personally like this game. I've been following this game for years, and I like that it's something other than EA. And I'm not going to sit here and say that it is the best game ever, because it's not. It's not the best game ever. It is far from it. But it's a great game. And the people who make this game are people who truly, truly love what they're doing. They are passionate about what they're doing. And I think that by supporting them, we can help them to create the game that we want. And the developers are very, very open to not only criticism, but ideas. And a lot of the ideas that the players give them are ideas that, maybe they weren't the happiest about, but they still went along with it. And one of which being the franchise option to turn off the funds. I was someone that did not like having a salary cap. So having the unlimited funds option was great for me, but some other people might not like it. So that's it. I'm going to sign off. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys can take something away from this, and I hope you guys do make a decision after this video on whether or not you want to buy Access Football. And if you do buy it, please let me know. Please let me know if this video was helpful. And I'm signing off now.